Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you're new here, thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is Scott. I've got a special for you, and today only, if you hit that subscribe button, free of charge. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the video. So today's topic basically is going to be 5 whiskeys or whiskey brands that I'm excited for here in 2024. Let's go ahead and get into that today on the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. So right out of the gate, we're going to hit you with a brand that has become relatively new for me, and I think for a lot of others over the last maybe year and a half, maybe 2 years tops, but that's 13th Colony Distillery out of Americus, Georgia. What it is that they've really been doing, a lot having to do with the fact that they were putting out fantastic double oak whiskeys. But I wanted to highlight something outside of just their double oak, and that's their standard bourbon and their standard rye whiskey. Both, in my opinion, absolutely fantastic bourbons. And it's partially why I'm excited to follow and monitor what it is the brand is doing, not only now, but kind of moving into the future to see if there's anything that they expand upon, anything that they add, or just kind of continue to do what they've done great for years. So that's why I wanted to include 13th Colony Distillery on this list of brands that I'm excited for here in 2024. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we are with the next one up of brands that I'm excited for here in 2024. And again, these are in no particular order, but for me, ASW is a must-have on this list. If this is a brand that you're a little unfamiliar with, I'd say try to do what you can to make yourself aware of what it is they're doing. This just happens to be 3 of several different whiskeys within their lineup that they have to offer. They are doing absolutely amazing things there at the distillery ASW in Atlanta, Georgia. So to kind of highlight a couple of the things that they do both their own distilling and also some sourcing, and actually we'll kind of combine some of those on occasions. And here we've got displayed basically their Fiddler lineup, but they are doing some of their own distillate, which they are utilizing pot still distillation, in addition to some sourcing and blending with their own, again, distillate to kind of create their own kind of unique signature, which is a lot of what they do with their Georgia Heartwood. So again, if you are unfamiliar with what it is that ASW does, get very familiar with them. Again, it's why I have them on the list of whiskey brands that I'm excited for here in 2024. With that, let's go ahead and move on to the next brand that I'm excited for here in 2024. Corbin Cash Distillery out of Atwater, California. This right here is proof or the epitome of great whiskey does not necessarily have to come from Kentucky, Indiana. What it is that David Souza and his team at Corbin Cash are doing really kind of highlights the fact that there can be other great whiskeys, again, outside of the state of Kentucky and Indiana, things along those lines. Everywhere from their 1917 Merced Rye all the way up to their Sour Mash Bourbon, including some single barrel picks that they do throughout the year. So what it is ultimately that they are doing at Corbin Cash, they are utilizing some different rye grains. They've also got the bourbon that they're putting out. So for me, over the past maybe year and a half, this has become a brand that I've monitored, kind of continued to watch a little bit just to kind of see where it is that they're going with things. And in my opinion, they are absolutely heading in the right direction and continuously putting out older and older whiskeys, things that are going to really appeal to the masses. And again, that is why I've got Corbin Cash on my list of brands that I'm excited for here in 2024. So here's a brand over the course of the last maybe year, 2 years, have been doing absolutely amazing things and have had recently a lot of light kind of shined down on them in a very good way. As of the making of this video, they had not put out quite yet their bourbon whiskey, of which they're going to be releasing sometime in February of 2024. But this is just to kind of highlight what it is that this brand, Hard Truth, is doing out of Nashville, Indiana. Everywhere from Finnish rye whiskeys to caramel malts to chocolate malts to now, or the newly introduced bourbons that they're going to be releasing here anytime. So again, it's a brand for me that has made me extremely excited for what it is they're doing here in 2024, and continuing to kind of follow what it is they're doing beyond that. But I wanted to highlight Hard Truth Distillery, again, out of Nashville, Indiana, as a brand that I'm really excited to follow here in 2024. Now, last but definitely not least is a brand out of Owensboro, Kentucky, Green River. Over the course of the last 2, maybe 3 years, they have really started to gain some traction, and in a very good way. Not only for them being known for incredibly great valued whiskey, but they may have now the perfect trifecta to introduce anybody to 3 different kinds of whiskeys. One being a rye-based bourbon, second being a wheated bourbon, and now third, they're newly introduced here as of January 2024 of their rye whiskey. So these are all their own distillate that they are making in Owensboro, Kentucky. And again, I think this is a great representation of a larger brand being able to utilize the market to create great valued whiskey, all while being able to put out something that has, again, that price point that is really appealing to an awful lot of people. We all know here in 2024 how pricey some whiskeys have gotten. Well, what it is that Green River has done and continues to do is provide us with great whiskey. This stuff all being anywhere from that maybe 4 to 6 year range, being their rye bourbon, their wheated bourbon, and now their rye whiskey, have all just really introduced a great value to flavor in the whiskey market. So that is why I've got Green River Distilling Company on my list of brands and or whiskeys to watch here in 2024, and why it is that I'm excited not only for what it is that Green River is doing, but all of the brands that I've mentioned today. So if any or all of these are unfamiliar or somewhat unfamiliar, I would say get very familiar. Give them a try. I think all of these offer a little something different and unique that will more than likely appeal to you. They all range, again, in some different values. Some have a little higher price tag, all the way down to some of these having, again, lower price tag, but still all while offering incredible tasting whiskey, again, at a great value. That's why I've got these whiskeys on my list of brands I'm excited for here in 2024. I'd love to know in the comments section below a few brands that maybe you're excited for here in 2024, and maybe even beyond. If there's something that wasn't on this list, I'd love to know your thoughts on what some of those would be. With that being said, thank you everyone so much for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me, you can on Facebook, Instagram, X, all of those places at My Bourbon Journey. If you'd like to help support the channel and become part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. And as always, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers.